A darle. Hola, futuros compañeros del Valhalla, bienvenidos un día más a mi canal, el canal de Rudex Norris. Estamos con este juego que me ha craseado because y vamos a seguir jugando, ¿vale? Un intermediario. Y él es quien elegía las víctimas para el vampiro. Uno debe estar muy seguro de sí mismo para chantajear. El centurión debe ser en realidad un intermediario.
Still don't know this Centurion's behind the kidnapping and blackmail. Might have just handled the theft of the wine.
Even if it's so, he then sold the wine to the blackmailers. As I see it, that makes him an accomplice.
Sí, a ver si.
Need to find the Centurion, whether or not he's responsible for the murders. Even if none of it's his doing, he could still know our blackmailer's identity. Besides, it's one thing to know who ordered the killings. Other thing entirely, and just as important, is why they... Someone's coming.
A la bestia de bucler, ¿te imaginas? Dices, what? Ah, vale.
Captain, why so long? We expected you hours ago.
This Centurion does not work alone. We are fighting an organization, not one man. Bandits attacked us, not a small force either. One of my boys has a broken arm, another a shattered knee, lamed for life. And the word on the street is there's a hefty bounty on your head, Gary.
Ah, de puta madre.
Used to it. Not the first time I've been hunted.
Must you always? Now, the port warehouse where the wine was delivered, we identified it, then learned who had hired it out. This proved to be a beggar, a stand-in. We found him. He admitted all. A man had paid him to sign the lease, a man he met while begging outside the pheasantry. There, fate lent us a hand. A waitress recalled spilling wine on a nobleman who spoke with a Centurion accent.
What did he look like?
Her description was not helpful. Handsome, well-dressed, with a beard.
Puedo ser yo.
distinguishing marks. This could be anyone. But she remembered his female companion very well, as she recognized her. On the Centurion's arm was Cecilia Bellant.
The singer? I've heard of her. She's said to be gifted, very.
¿Cecilia no es la que conocemos nosotros?
We went to her home immediately. Cecilia was not there, but we questioned her servants.
No creo, ¿no?
A chambermaid claimed Cecilia is to meet a Centurion gentleman tonight. She'd invited him to a reception mounted by the Mandragora.
The Mandragora. What's that?
A club, an affiliation of local artists. Painters, sculptors, troubadours and dancers.
Never heard of it.
They exude mystique, consciously, I think. Behaving like an exclusive cabal. Artistic elites. Every now and again they mount soirees. Only wealthy patrons are invited. All arrive in elaborate masks, then drink and flirt.
Me gusta esa última parte.
Gotta nab the Centurion. Seems we have to go to that get-together.
You read my mind, Witcher. I shall gather my men, surround the establishment.
No, tenemos que hacer justo lo contrario.
Out of the question.
Mezclarnos.
If the Centurion truly does have men about the city, he will find out and escape once again.
Duchess is right. Need to be careful. Best go there, blend in with the crowd.
Precisely what we shall do.
Tú y yo hacemos
We,
de pareja.
your grace.
Geralt and I. In that sort of company, the Witcher could use my...
¿Puedo filtrear con la
Where's the
Ana
event
Henrietta?
held?
The Mandragora always assembles at the same place. A
A
residence
ver,
in
es
Oakville.
guapa.
It's a very distinguished district. Geralt, you must don appropriate attire. Then meet me in Oakville, in Mountebank Alley.
A ver, que yo no soy muy de esto, ¿eh? Tú sabrás. El otro ahí como... Pues vale, tío, ¿qué quieres que te diga? No, va a... Joder, apágala normal, coño. Considera apropiada para la velada. ¿Y cuál será apropiada para la velada? Hombre, primero voy a poner yo la que creo que es la más apropiada para mí. Ya veremos si... ¡Hola, meretrices! Ole. ¿Ves? Las de Bucler por lo menos me tratan como un ser humano. No como las de Novigrado, tío, que me tratan como...
Any last words?
¿Quiénes son estos? Pregunto. ¿No algún tipo de referencia? ¡Ha matado al perro! ¡Hijos de puta! ¿O lo he matado yo? No estoy seguro. No le des, coño. Bueno, pues nada. Ya, lo siento.
Didn't look like locals. Damien's right. I'm a hunted man.
¿Te puedes apartar, pedazo de subnormal de mierda? Qué asco me da. Pobrecillo el perro. Contrato de un brujo. ¿Toma? No tengo ese peinado, perdona que te diga. Le he estado dando al tío este, pobrecito. Y el perro creo que me lo he cargado yo. Pues sí. Pues que me vengan quien les salga de los huevos, Yo me enfrento a todos. Sin camisetas, si hace falta. Y el gato lo mato también, si hace falta. Puto gato. Una mierda. Está intentando acortar camino y al final me lo he hecho más largo. Si es que... Esto no puedo... ¡Ah! Hijo de puta. Pues nada, por aquí. ¿Qué remedio? Y... Por culo, gatos de mierda. La ciudad del amor. No, sí, es muy europeizado, así que más o menos sería francés y cosas así. Pero ponen como que Francia son los que mejor vino hacen en el mundo y es España quien el mejor vino que hay. Por lo menos para las uvas. Para la crianza de uvas. Porque tenemos un clima que nuestro clima mediterráneo es genial para poner de todo. Una nota. Yo estoy cogiendo de todo, Hola. Hola, Pierre.
Sacre bleu. It's a crime. You're from the north.
A ver, te me relajas.
Excuse me?
There is no excuse. There is but the need to outfit you anew. My salon stands open. Please come in.
All jests aside, let me...
I'm more...
A ver qué tienes. Uy, esto me gusta. Jubón elegante de bucler. Elegante de cortesano. Elegante de cortesano. Esto y esto. Es que la máscara de lobo ya la tengo. A la mierda.
Ever your servant, sir.
A ver. Ojo, El Gerald. Eso sí, te tienes que quitar esto. El hombre de centro. Vámonos. Ahora sí, me pegan 2 hostias y me revientan. Así que hay que tener cuidadete. Por ejemplo, hacer así. Mercader de divisas.
How might I help, friend? Do you need to swap currencies?
I'd like to change...
Naturally. Chopped liver?
Adiós.
Nice tune.
Vámonos. Mira.
Am I invisible?
Claro, conseguimos florines y demás, pues obviamente lo que quieren es a callar, coño. A callar. Me la pela 1000 veces. Vale, a este. Hola, buenas, caballero. No me cuentes tu vida.
What do you...
Pin, pin, pin. Esto me lo voy a quedar. Armadura felina mejorada. ¿Se lo vendía este? No tengo recuerdos de este. Ah, vale, sí, claro. Ya decía, yo digo, joder, qué bestialidad, ¿no? Nada.
Farewell.
¿Has visto lo guay que voy? Soy el puto amo. Me cago en mi vida. Vámonos. Y nos partimos las piernas.
Late. Why does that not surprise me?
A lo mejor es que ya está ahí. No lo sabes. Uy, me encantan esas lámparas, tío. Esas lámparas quiero recordar que son muy fáciles de hacer con papel. O sea, muy baratas. Y es porque al fin y al cabo acaban quemándose. Y se van al mar. Con el mechero y todo. Que dice, bueno. Paza loca. Uy, vamos casi iguales. Nada más que los colores son distintos. Paza loca.
Well, well. I did not expect
¡Ole! ¡Hemos acertado! Para follarte mejor esta noche.
Nothing like a budding artist, of course, but just one other detail. Here, put it on.
Me da un condón.
All who attend the Mandragora soiree wear them. If you have one on, no one asks who you are.
Joder.
Any idea why they wear masks?
Para que seamos.
Likely because they imagine it oh so very romantic and mysterious.
¿Y te parece a ti
The
romántico?
truth is far simpler.
¡Tírale ficha,
This
Gerald!
way, no one can tell which drunken aristocrats are pinching the performers.
Vamos adentro.
Let's go. Soiree started.
Wise of you to hide your weapons. They'd not have let us in otherwise, that's certain.
Me las he insertado por el ano, ¿qué te parece? Buena idea, ¿eh? Aunque a veces chocan y me pone nervioso en el cerebro. Pero está bien. Es el portero.
How
Vamos
do
a...
we find the Cintrian? Have you a plan?
No.
Key is not to spook him. Need to ask after his partner, Cecilia, first. Less likely to raise suspicions. As soon as we find her, we find him. Especially since he might be expecting us.
What do you mean?
Ran into some of his thugs in town. Knew who I was. Had it in for me.
Right. Right you are. We must proceed with caution. Come, it's our turn.
Es que va a haber algún tipo de contraseña. Y voy a hacer... ¡Ja! ¡LOL!
Monsieur, an extraordinary pleasure to welcome you to the Mandragora's soiree. Tonight, I particularly recommend you direct your attention to the performances prepared by artists of our community.
Tell us about these performances.
This evening, the Mandragora has the honor to present 3 superb displays of artistry. The first was a concert by Cecilia Belont, a singer whose voice, were it stone, would surely be a diamond. Sadly, Mademoiselle Cecilia has sung.
Shame. We would have loved to hear her.
Luckily, you are in time to see the great Calesti, a master of visual illusions, come to us from far off
Ophir.
Ophir.
Visual illusions. Interesting. And the third artist?
The third and fourth, for they are a duo, are the Tuven brothers, presenting their newest pantomime.
Pues la buscamos a otra.
We were really hoping to meet Cecilia Belont.
You are admirers, I surmise. I'm certain you will have ample opportunity to converse with her.
It cannot be easy to identify anyone in this crowd. Perhaps you could help us find her.
I don't know where she is now, but I can give you a clue.
Let's hear it.
Seek the Kaveri orchid.
Meaning?
Cecilia wears one in her hair. You shall recognize her easily by the orchid.
Cualquiera que tenga alguna mierda en el pelo.
Dandelion's always complaining about artists being poor as temple mice.
Y dale con hablar de Jaskier, tío. Pesado eres, que no hables de
The
él.
residence belongs to none of them. They are guests here. Oriana, she owns this. Woman in the black dress. There, on the balcony.
Vamos a hablar con
Got
ella.
her. Doesn't wear a mask.
Todo el mundo la conoce.
It would be pointless. All would know her
Claro.
anyway.
Kaveri
Joder.
orchid. Let's look for it. If we find Cecilia, we'll find the Cintrian.
Hombre, claro. De Bellón. Vámonos.
Go on, Geralt, be bold. Show us the artist in you. The paint balls, cast them at the canvas.
¿Cómo?
Good folk, yet another soul longing to express its creative side.
Well, you are not an art.
Ah, vale. Vale, vale, vale. Hay una. Hay otra. Y vamos a poner otro morado. Ah, toma por culo. Ahora esto. Vamos a ponerlo aquí. Es que no quiero atacar a ningún objetivo mío. Ya, ahí. Un toque de rojo y un poco de verde. Quiero el rojo. Ahí. 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 Y vamos a mejorar un poquito aquí. Ahí.
Yes, it's sure to be a masterpiece.
Tiene un poco de amarillo, ¿no?
Yellow. Why every yellow?
It's obvious. It represents
¿Y por qué coño no? He intentado hacer una polla, las cosas como son, pero me ha salido de la mierda. Es una polla, amigo. Una puta polla. He intentado hacer una polla y me ha salido mal.
Oh yes, that's him all right. Good versus evil.
¿Cómo se lo pasan en Rieta, eh?
Nature of man.
And defiance.
Sacre bleu, dice. Está borrachísimo. Ah,
Absent. The preferred hooch of artists.
Careful, it packs a pretty powerful punch.
toma.
Built up a pretty powerful resistance.
Es que técnicamente no. ¿Puedo yo? Ah, vale. Vámonos. Otro chupito, venga, para adentro. Glucu. Para adentro. Vámonos.
Besides, have you not heard the news?
Have I not heard? It's on everyone's lips.
Buenas.
Please leave. This is a
Ah, que es privada.
Cecilia never should have performed tonight. You should have.
No podemos aquí.
Sure to be in one of the alcoves.
Ah, vale. Que va a estar en una de las alcobas. Nada.
Look at the mage. I believe he's casting spells.
Por abajo.
Yeah, you'll see.
Do you know my favorite? It's Geralt of Rivia. Life is beautiful.
A tope.
Fine. Let's give it a try.
Never suspected.
Cantoso eres, cabrón.
Ah, how beautiful.
Es que eres un cantoso de mierda.
They say releasing them brings good luck. The dolphins. That is no ordinary illusion. The man is a true artist.
Impressive.
Te apago esta, machote. ¿Puedes hacer todo eso? Mira. ¡Bin! En tu carita. ¿Será este? El brujo enamorado, Francois del Valle. Una noche oscura como boca de lobo envuelve un frondoso bosque. La luna llena brilla en el cielo por encima de los árboles. Nota: escenografía debe incluir una representación de la luna llena. Los lobos aúllan lastimeramente en la distancia. Un brujo camina a través del bosque midiendo cuidadosamente sus pasos. Lleva una espada de plata en sus manos. Brujo, malditos sean los dioses. La luna está llena por completo. He aguardado esta noche durante mucho tiempo. Ha pasado 3 semanas en esa asquerosa cantera y todo únicamente para atrapar a un hombre lobo. Al menos la hija del molinero me ayudó a matar el tiempo. De hecho me voy con cierta sensación de arrepentimiento. ¿Por ventura debería habérmela llevado conmigo? Soy un chasquido detrás del brujo. Se da la vuelta con agilidad. La guardia alta divisa al hombre lobo. ¡Ya lo tengo, bestia! ¡Arr! Un rugido furioso. El hombre lobo se quita la máscara. El brujo ve que en realidad es la hija del molinero. Se queda estupefacto. No sabe qué hacer. Bien, ¿ahora qué? ¿Vas a matarme? O tal vez me lleves contigo. ¡Oh my goodness! Digno de señora. Gracias. ¿Cómo sabe que soy brujo? Está con la cogorza fuerte. Este ha dicho eso de ten cuidado, brujo. Y es como... ¿cómo sabes que soy brujo? ¿Qué pasa? Uy, aquí hay que entrar. He visto un cuerpo desnudo.
Do not disturb. Shoo, shoo.
Shoo, shoo.
It's the right flower.
Of course it is. A Kaviri orchid lends just the right contrast to her complexion.
Need to talk to your model. It'll only take a minute.
To me?
Lie still. You may speak, but for love's sake, do not move.
Wow. Impressive portrait.
I know the style, the stroke. This is Dorian Villesse.
The gracious lady has heard of me?
I've heard Anna Henrietta herself wished you to paint her portrait once.
At one point, the palace chamberlain even wrote to me, but alas, ultimately refused my terms.
What was the matter?
When he learned I only ever paint nudes, he severed all contact. He said he would not dare offend her illustrious highness with such a proposition. I've always longed to paint her. Such a shame.
I think you may still get your chance.
¿Puedo mirar? Le dice el Gerard. ¿No? Vale.
We came here to meet you, specifically.
To meet me? But why?
¿Y por qué no?
Centrian noble you came here with. Wanted to ask you about him.
Centrian noble. Ah, you must think I'm Cecilia.
Orchid confused me.
I told you not to move!
As she concluded her performance, Cecilia tossed the flower into the crowd. I caught it, but I did see the nobleman.
Really like to talk to him. What did he look like?
Like many here. Tall, dark, masked.
Gracias.
Know where he might be now?
He gave Cecilia a small gift, a heart-shaped box. Then they strolled off together towards the refreshment tables.
Excuse me, madame, monsieur, I cannot work like this. You must leave now.
Vale, venga. Tranquilito. Ok.
Exceptional, true. Would I ever have told him?
Love letter penned on a napkin. Look.
Esto para que lo quiera.
Oh, my amour, my sunbeam flittering across the firmament of my life.
La dice ella, ¿sabes?
Empty heart-shaped box. Cecilia must have left it behind.
Vale, perfecto. Entonces solo tenemos que seguir el
A gift from the Centurion, I imagine.
Scent still hangs in the air. Let's follow it. Someone left their loot behind. Looks a little like
Joder, qué pesado con Jaskier.
This was scratched. Someone beat it once.
Fue ella. Alguien lo golpeó con él una vez y le reventó la cabeza con él. Una vez. Es que el Jaskier también se cinca a la reina y después dice: me voy a ir con otras. ¿Por qué no? ¿Qué puede pasar? Pues que te intenten matar, gilipollas. ¿Qué es lo que me pasó? Bueno, tío. Nos vamos a ir al quinto, coño. Joder, colega, de verdad. ¿Puede estar más lejos o...?
It's fine. Relax. Master Hoover is a generous.
Buenas. Nada, que venimos a partir de la puta boca.
Sorry, only artists in the Mandragora allowed.
Come, we must consider what to do.
Le hago una seña.
I'd recognize that voice anywhere.
You must be mistaking me for someone else.
I served 15 years in the palace. Your Grace, I'd not mistake you for anyone.
Shh, not so loud. We are here incognito, on state business.
Yes, Your Grace. How may I serve?
I hope we can count on your discretion.
Of course. I shall be silent as the grave.
Looking for Cecilia Bellant. Seen her?
She's in her dressing room, where she went with a nobleman. They clearly were drawn to each other.
Pues tenemos que entrar.
What did the man look like?
Tall, broad-shouldered, a black beard peeping out from under his mask, and he spoke
Como un
with a foreign
cintriano.
accent,
Venga, vamos para adentro.
a drawl of sorts.
That must be him. We must get to the dressing room, quickly.
Yes, Your Grace. I'll take you.
No, stay here. Anyone tries to flee, you stop them.
Understood.
Understood.
Quickly, upstairs.
¿Qué me quieres hacer, Ana Henrietta? Bueno, no desarrollo. Este no es. Este es. Good morning, nene. Vaya, hombre.
That must be Cecilia.
No pulse. We're too late.
Está nerviosa.
He slit her throat. The brute.
Amiga, pues.
Didn't go out the door. Guard would have noticed. Might still be somewhere here.
You must find him before he harms another. I shall alert Oriana at once. She should bring her soirée to a close.
Shouldn't split up.
Get out, I will be fine. Go after that rogue. I shall fetch help.
Qué pena, tío. Supuestamente era una trovadora mega excelente y...
Bloody handprint. It's his. Killed her, then went out on the balcony.
Nos vamos a tener que tirar.
Tore down the door. Made a platform. Clever. Must be pretty strong, too. Must have climbed this ladder.
Ah, vale. Debió subir por esta escalera y yo buscando la escalera diciendo... ¿Qué?
Could still be here. Need to stay alert. Smashed mirror. Someone crashed into it hard, then sank to the floor.
Fragmento de ámbar. Cositas.
Bloodstains. Links of a snapped chain. Jewel must have been on it. Precious stone. Bloody fingerprint on it. Thief came for this. Must have. Tiny chain links next to it. From a snapped necklace. Seems there was a struggle. Jewelry box. Lock's busted. Picked open, probably.
No me digas. Me dejas anonadado.
Looks valuable, but it's not what he came for.
Él vino a matar, nada más.
Empty inkwell. Knocked over, turned toward the room. Canvas is cut. Somebody took a knife to the painting, looks like.
Y justamente este cuchillo.
Hunting knife. Richly ornamented. Used during the fight, probably. Locked. No key in sight.
Ah, vale, mag. What?
Sconce is bent. Smeared with blood. Someone try to grab it? Blood on the window frame. Someone climb out? Fall out? Jewel was in the box, it seems. Centurion tried to steal it, but someone got in his way. They fought, struggled, that's clear. Ended with one of them flying out the window. Fall had to have killed them.
Cinturano no.
Jewel's still here, though. So our Centurion must have been the flyer.
Pero, obviamente, no hay nadie abajo.
So, this is the tracker. A witcher, yes?
Oli.
Indeed, this is him. We found the body together. Then he set off in pursuit of the killer.
¿Cómo saben que estoy yo aquí arriba?
And ended up here, but I've only found evidence of a fight. Seems the Centurion's killed his last. Finally failed this time. Shame it happened too late for Cecilia.
Poor girl. Always told her she chose her males badly. But I would never have suspected she could arrive with a murderer.
Pa' que veas, amiga.
I'll alert the staff. Have them see to her body at once. Meanwhile, we should sit. I will tell you everything, in full detail. I caught him red-handed, attempting to burgle, rifling through my possessions.
What did you do? Summon the guards?
There was no time. I feared he'd escape, refused to give him the chance. He stood with his back to me, so I attacked. He struck his head on a picture frame as we struggled. He was bleeding, dazed, and then he drew a knife. Everything happened very quickly then. I knocked the weapon out of his hand and pushed him hard. He
fell out of the window.
Just so.
None too wise picking a fight with an armed robber.
Why? Because I'm a woman.
No, porque está armado.
Rather than plate. I can take care of myself, I assure you.
Joder, que estaba armado él.
Ornament, but plunged into an eye, it can be as effective.
Uy, sí. Una horquilla que de cuánto, de 2 centímetros 3 de largo, frente a un cuchillo de 25 centímetros de largo. Amiga.
Claim the man was trying to rob you when you walked into the room?
Yes. He stood over my dressing table, pouring through my jewelry.
Mm-hmm. After this is my guess. Picked it up while searching.
Why, that's the heart of Toussaint. Oriana, how did you ever come to have it?
I bought it, many years ago, from a young woman.
Jewel seems important. Why?
The heart is an heirloom. It belonged to my family for years. Then it disappeared. I didn't think we would ever recover it.
Seems someone is very determined to find it. The thief left his tool bag behind. Found this drawing inside it. Look.
El broche ese. La joya. La joya de la corona.
The heart of Toussaint. Representation's pretty faithful. Centurion must have been on a job. Got very clear instructions what to look for.
So it is not him we seek.
El intermediario. El cinturón intermediario.
Is this the only evidence we found?
Also happened on the weapon he attacked Oriana with. Hunting knife. Used to skin game. Got an emblem on its hilt.
This crest is used by the Lords of Duntine. The present master of the castle is a passionate hunter. Our next lead, perhaps.
Duntine. Remember the place. Abandoned ruin just a few years ago.
More recently, the family's lost heir. Roderick returned to his ancestral seat and restored the castle.
Know any more about this Roderick?
His grandfather was an advisor to Queen Ademarta. The family received those lands as a grant for his service. Roderick is quite the recluse. He avoids society, preferring the company of a small team of knights, though the latter term is imprecise, as they seem more akin to vandals with crests on their shields.
Oriana, everything we discussed here, hope you'll keep it to yourself. Counting on it, in fact. Word gets out he, failed in his attempt to steal the jewel. His employer could run. We need to proceed cautiously.
Discretion is in the interest of us all. I'll not ask what this is about, just as I expect not to be troubled about it again. By anyone.
Forgive me, Madam Oriana, but might I have a word?
You must excuse me a moment.
La verdad es que la Ana Henrietta no parece la misma reina que se veía al principio. También el pelo hace mucho, la verdad.
Oriana, any thoughts?
Few make me feel awkward, but in her presence, I sense anxiety, discomfort.
The drawing. It's on the same type of paper the victims' names were written on. Drawn with the same ink, too. Seems the work of our blackmailers.
Who were not only behind the beast's murders, but also stole the Son Real and sought to steal the heart of Toussaint.
Look, the wine, the jewel, both tied to you intrinsically. Coincidence? Not something I'm willing to believe. Worried about one thing. That somewhere at the end of this scheme, plan might call for an attempt on your life.
It could be something else altogether. My sister, Siana, might be among the schemers.
La menor, ¿no?
She
La
left
mayor.
court when we were children. My parents banished her from the
Sí,
duchy.
vimos la hoja por
I've
ahí.
not seen her since.
What did your sister do to get banished?
Siana was cursed.
Vaya.
Parents run afoul of some mage?
No. She was born at an inopportune moment. They said she was touched by the curse of the Black Sun. Geralt, is it true? Can an individual be evil
Es
because
una
they were
puta
born
gilipollez,
during the
pero
wrong lunar phase?
interesante, ¿eh?
Could be the case. Could also
No
be
interesante
because
de
they were treated
interesarme
like
por
lepers
ellos,
from
sino
birth,
interesante de
isolated,
una mierda muy gorda.
ostracized. Couldn't have had it easy, Siana.
She was angry at the whole world. She felt inferior, felt pain, though she masked this with confidence, arrogance even.
A ver, si tratas a una persona porque
Times.
iba a ser un
Recall
hijo de
one
puta
such
desde que nació.
situation. She persuaded Cedric the Coolbird that she could see the future in her dreams. We were children, and Cedric's brother was smitten with me. It was an innocent childhood crush. Siana knew of it. She told Cedric of a dream she had had, that he would die at the hands of his own brother.
Ay, Dios mío, no,
Cedric stole his father's sword and killed his brother. She destroyed 2 lives with a prank. Cedric mourns.
Hay que
to
ser
this
muy
day.
tonto, ¿eh? Pero que muy tonto.
In the end, they forced her to leave the palace. A decade passed. More. I've missed her terribly since.
Think your sister might be involved? Why?
You see,
No tiene por qué estar
I
metida
recall her
directamente.
always being rather possessive, throwing jealous fits if I had something she didn't.
Here, that's normal for sisters. Rivalry.
True. I suppose I gave as good as I got. There are times I miss that very much. The wine, its theft was the first clue. That's very much like her. She always did enjoy stealing my toys, but I grew almost certain when I saw the heart of Toussaint. Siana received it from father as a gift, at a time when my parents thought of her as but an ill-behaved little girl. Someone wanted some of my wine. The same someone ordered our family jewels stolen, or recovered.
O una persona que
It's my
es
sister.
muy fiel de
It
ella.
must be.
Y ya está.
A fallen princess satisfying whims, going after lost luxuries? Could be right.
Pero cuadra demasiado bien. No tiene demasiado sentido.
Your mission has gained new import. You must go to Duntine, and if Siana is there, you must find her. No matter what she did, she is not to be harmed in any way, shape or form. You must make sure of
Me
her.
voy a meter un puñetazo según la vea. ¿Te imaginas?
I'll find her if she's there.
I hope you do. I very much wish to talk to her. Sister to sister.
Your Grace, Geralt, I'd like to introduce...
Regis! What a
Hostia.
surprise! I had no idea you were in Beauclair. And this is...
La bestia de Bucler.
My very dear friend, Detlaf van der Eretain, an arrival from Nazaire.
We are lending our combined resources to the Witcher's Hunt.
Ah, yes. Splendid. But why are you here at Oriana's?
They
¿Y por
came
qué
to
no?
pay me a surprise visit, so I invited Regis in for a glass of wine. We've known each other for... ages. Literally.
Ella también es un vampiro.
Witcher, I hear you know Regis too. Even that you are friends.
Sí, muy amigos.
Few I can rely on like I can on Regis. Kinda hoping he thinks the same of me.
Curious. It seems opposites really do attract.
Don't be fooled, dear. Geralt has many merits. He merely hides them from the world very diligently.
You said you're both aiding him with his contract. It involves the Beast of Beauclair, I suspect. Master Witcher, maybe you could satisfy my curiosity. What's it like going toe-to-toe with a monster, knowing you've only
Vale, me gusta.
to kill or be killed?
Despite what you might have heard, I don't lunge at every monster I see sword in hand. Talking gets the job done for some.
I wonder what a monster might have to say to you.
It might want to apologize.
My word. For what might a monster wish to apologize to a Witcher?
For killing. Though at times there is no choice. When loved ones are at risk and require
Y tienes
protection.
toda la razón. Sí, sí.
Same as humans. Put them in that situation, they'll kill too.
You understand this. It must be why you and Regis are friends. If I understand you correctly, you would rather help a monster than kill
Yes.
it.
If possible, yeah. Or at least try.
Enough about the Witcher trade for now. Regis mentioned you come from Nazaire.
Estos aquí hablándose, pero que lo sabe hasta Reyes aquí qué tipo de conversación tienen y otra. Que os calléis ya, que no me interesa esa mierda.
By the land's fashions. Deep cut dresses I found most fascinating.
I believe we're running short on wine. I should go to the cellar, bring another bottle.
Let me go. Wanna help, Regis? Know your wine a lot better than I know mine.
We shall return forthwith.
¿Vienes, Beldaf? Aquí es cuando le puedes...
Exceptional conversation, don't you think? Vampires, a Witcher,
And the Duchess of Toussaint.
Efectivamente.
Highly exceptional, Regis. Wanted to talk to you in private. You crazy bringing Detlaf here?
Geralt, allow me to explain.
No, let me explain. He's dangerous, and you were gonna watch him.
But that is precisely what I'm doing. Detlaf believes you'll succeed in your task, and he'll not need to kill anymore.
That is, not until he gets his hands on the men who kidnapped his Renner.
Oriana, she really your friend? Can she be
Es una
trusted?
vampira, tío.
I met her years ago, before I met you, and before she settled in Beauclair. We'd not seen one another in... I can't begin to tell you in how long.
But I shall tell you all about her some other day.
Guessing it's no accident you two stopped by.
It would be quite some coincidence indeed. No, a dutiful little bird told us.
Now listen close. Managed to learn where the blackmailers are. They're based at Duntine Castle.
That's splendid news. If they are there, Renner must be there as well.
Duchess expects we'll find her long-lost sister there too. Thing is, she might be involved. Could be behind the blackmailing.
Do you mean to say your task now is to extract 2 women from the castle?
Mean to say we can't breathe a word of this to Dettlaff, who wants revenge above all else.
Geralt, you must trust me. I've got a way with...
No, Regis. Can't risk it. Gotta keep Dettlaff here while I go to Duntine.
Alone?
Alone. That way I can make sure neither woman will come to any harm.
I hope you know what you're doing. Fine. I shall see to Dettlaff. Good luck, my friend.
Hasta luego.
Splendidly, Dettlaff. Ah, I'm grateful you brought back those memories. You're back. It took you long enough.
Contrary to what common folk believe, choosing a wine is not nearly as easy as it might seem. Especially a wine to be served to 2 exquisite ladies.
Regis, gallant as ever. I regret all the more that I shan't finish the 2nd bottle with you. Duty calls.
Your Grace, always a pleasure.
I thank you for your help. It's been invaluable. Geralt, will you see me out?
Yes. Me gusta esa conversación en plan... Aunque era un poco obvia. Si sabes de qué va el
You have
rollo.
exceptional friends. This Dettlaff, an intriguing man to say the least.
Don't know him too well. He say much about himself?
Not much, but I've a good sense of the true nature of those I meet. I'd not survive a week at court otherwise.
So what's his?
Sensitive, sad. He carries within him the weight of a terrible tragedy. He is a good man, but lost, which is why he comes across as grim.
Didn't expect the evening to end like this.
Neither did I. But I have not drawn you out for a romantic stroll. I wish to make certain you know what you are to do.
Gotta go to Duntine.
I've decided my guardsmen will support you. You will meet them at Count Delacroix' mill. It stands along the Saône-Retour River, near the Cockatrice Inn. Captain de la Tour and his men will await you there at midnight. You shall storm the castle together.
Ok. Ok. Llevo un huevo, ¿eh? Joder. Os quejaréis. Vale, pues hasta aquí el capítulo de hoy. Espero que hayáis disfrutado muchísimo este capítulo. En el siguiente vamos a estar haciendo cositas, obviamente. Y poca cosa más de la que contaros. Muchas gracias por haberme visto. Espero que hayáis disfrutado muchísimo. Dale a like si os ha gustado. Suscribiros en el stage para que YouTube os avise que dejéis suba vídeo. Tenéis links en la descripción. Uno para Instant Gaming para que podáis comprar juegos como este y muchos otros más a menor precio. Y el otro para Twitch, para que podáis verme aquí en directo, donde estoy ahora mismo. Y nada más. Muchas gracias a todos y hasta el siguiente capítulo. Adiós. No sé ni a qué le he dado. A ver qué le he dado. A detener.